Ron, you shared some of the amazing supernatural stories with me, but tonight we'll be tackling them in a bit longer or greater length. And I thought if we can start for tonight with something light, if there's anything light in all these stories, that's so funny. Okay, so first story I would like you to share with us is your experience you had with speaking with and seeing angels, and
Mm,
according to your words, regularly. So please
yes.
share something when it comes to this subtopic with us.
Well, in thinking about this, um, Father kept on telling me and reminding me about the very first experience. That was really maybe not the first experience, but the most in your face experience that I had. My wife and I went to a wedding, and we left the reception just east of Toronto, and we're driving not back home, but to um, a 2.5 hour drive away east of there along the major highway, the 401. Here, that part is part of the lower Trans Canada highway, and at any rate, we were in the middle of a snowstorm when we left the reception, and already wondering whether we should actually go this 2 hour drive. Um, my the individual that I consider my spiritual father at the time was doing a conference, and so, anyways, we just felt it was really important as a son. It was really important to be there, uh, and so we're driving along, and the snow is piling down. There are cars. It was a divided highway, so we had a ditch on the left and a ditch on the right, culvert, and we would go by cars in the ditch consistently. And every time we passed a car, it was like a beacon uh, went off. We would go by the car, and it was like we must have hit this sound bite. And all I heard was that car in the ditch is because of you. And then drive along, and another one. That car in that ditch is because of you. And I wasn't saying anything to my wife because at this point I'm thinking, okay, you've lost it. We're going to get to the conference and we're going to ask somebody to take us to the mental ward at the nearest hospital, and I'll check myself in. This is starting to get a little weird. It wasn't too long. It was maybe about the third or fourth incident like that. I almost stopped driving because I felt like somebody was all of a sudden sitting in the back seat. It was that real and that visual. I couldn't see I couldn't see the body in the rearview mirror, but I could definitely a sense it, and b in just the peripheral. I knew something was back there. Then it went away. So now I'm convinced that I'm losing it, and continuing to drive on. All of a sudden, out of I'll just say out of nowhere, I start hearing a conversation. Now, keep in mind, we're on a highway in a snowstorm. There's no way you can hear anything outside the vehicle other than the noise of the vehicle. And yet, I was hearing, as clear as my own voice inside the vehicle, I was hearing a conversation off the roof of my car. And and I wasn't able immediately to discern what was being spoken, but I knew there were several voices. It wasn't just one person. It was or one voice. It was multiple voices. So I'm immediately now I'm checking in with Father. I'm just sitting. I'm just driving. Still haven't said anything to my wife. Okay, Lord, this is really the strangest thing. I'm hearing voices. I need to check with you. What's going on here? Do I need to start, you know, getting them off the roof, praying them off the roof? And all I felt, it wasn't even hearing his voice. It was more him just giving me a sense of no, just go with it, just relax. It's okay. And I thought, what? That's the strangest thing for you to say to me right now. But I went with it because I trust his voice. I've even at that was early 90s. I'd already come to know his voice. And we weren't traveling at this point. I just had come to know his voice. And so it wasn't long after that all of a sudden the conversation became clear. I could hear what they were saying. And me being me, anybody that's listening right now that knows me knows they'll be chuckling when I say this. I could not help myself but to think, knowing that I couldn't speak out loud to them, uh, mostly because my wife would not understand at all at that point, having not told her anything to this point. So I thought, I'm just going to think a thought and I'm going to interject into this conversation. I got a response, and it wound up being this conversation. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is la la land. Like I have lost this all control completely. But I'm trying my best to keep it together for my wife's sake and not give her anything visual. So I'm saying, okay, so if I'm to believe that you guys are angels and I'm hearing you and you're hearing me, okay, that's one thing. Uh, but then I have to add, it begs the question, why? Like what's happening? Why now? And what are you up to? And what they said was, you know that voice that goes off every time you go past a car? I said, yeah. They told me what it said, right? And word for word. And up until this point, anybody can say, well, of course, that was you thinking this. And I get it. I totally get it. But nonetheless, so then I said, okay, so why is this happening? Like it still doesn't make sense why. And they said, okay, this weather pattern that is dumping all this snow is meant to take you and your wife out. It's not meant to harm you. It's meant to kill you. And what the problem is for the enemy is that Father's made you invisible to the enemy. So all he knows is that you've left the reception. But from the time you've left the reception, he doesn't know where you are. So every time you go past a car, it is as though he's left these beacons that fire off every time you pass the car. And he was giving you a message, the same message, but giving you a message. And so because you've been made invisible, our job is to help you navigate through this. And I'm thinking, navigate? As long as I can see the road, right? This is just what I'm thinking to myself. If I can see the road, I don't need somebody to give me navigation. I've been there to this place countless times. I know this like the back of my hand. Well, a little further down the road, we're having an extended conversation by this point. Now, I have to interject. I've told this several different times to people that I've considered safe. um, and it either they bring it up or I feel the need to bring it up, like I am right now. And that is, if you're in this kind of a situation, you've seen it in movies. Uh, the overriding urge is, if this is really happening, then don't you have a list of questions that you want to ask? I mean, you've got it right. It's just the common thing. So that was an instinct that started to happen, and I distinctly at that point heard Father say, "Shut up. Don't go near those questions. There'll be a time. This isn't it. Just go with what you're hearing. It's too important. No distractions, right? Focus." Okie dokie. So on we go. Well, there's a road stop area, not a rest area, but food and gas and all that kind of stuff. Rest area. So we pull into that. I'm a coffee person, so I absolutely had to have another coffee by this point. Uh, we're going. I'm going from the car into the building where all the food court is, and now I'm hearing voices about 20 feet above me, and it goes something close to this. Okay, guys, don't go to sleep. Don't rest here. Just because he's out of the car doesn't mean he's safe. He's not safe. And so I want you guys, I want two or three of you to follow him because you need to cover just in case. So I'm looking around to make sure that I'm not hearing something else. I go in, do what I have to do. I come back out to the car. On my way out to the car, it picks back up again. More instructions within the group, right? I get in the car. We get back on the road. By this point, I feel before we get on the road, I've got to tell my wife, bring her up to speed. So I do, and she's taking it well. And every now and then from that point forward, she started saying, well, what are they saying? Are they saying anything now? What's happening now? Like, keep me in the loop, right? So it was really cool. And she's always been that way. And so here we go back onto the road. She's up to speed. And I'm starting again, this is me. And anybody on the cast knows me well, that knows me well enough will know that this is me. I start thinking, well, if I've got angels on the roof and if they can talk with me and I can talk with them and we can hear each other, I got to test this out. I can't just leave this alone. This is so I'm in there's a 2-lane highway on our side. I'm in the right lane, the far right lane. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not going to say anything for a second. And I went boop and changed over to the passing lane. And I hear, oh my goodness, he did it. It's incredible. That's fabulous. Perfect. And so I'm driving along and I thought, all right, well, if that's the case, try this one on, guys. Without thinking, I guess I was thinking it. I shouldn't have thought it. And I went poof back over into the lane. Exactly what he should have. This is perfect. I can't believe that he's actually taken this. He's doing it himself. He's not even listening to us, and he's doing. That's insane. And so so now I've got to jump in, guys. All right, from here on, I'm not making this up. Right? If you want me to move, you tell me, because it's clear I can hear, and we can hear each other. So you tell me what's coming up, and I'll play it. By your rules, and so sure enough, they would say, all right, in about the next 100 yards, make sure you get into the other lane. And when I do that, and I'd look in the other lane, and there was black ice, or there was a pothole, or there was something that they needed me to get around, right? And it was all these little devices, I'll call them, that literally would have sent us for a spin. And it was like that for the rest of the trip. And by the time, I guess, the last third of the trip happened, we were having conversations, not about the questions that you would normally think of on the list, but questions concerning if this is meant to take us out. Are you saying that in his eyes, we're that important? And it was interesting the kind of answer I got back to that. It was more around, it's not so much that he thinks you're important. It's more that it's what you're doing. And he can see, now this is when I started to hear them talk about something I'll call angelic build up around an individual.